Hi, friends. This is Steel Fairy, and I'm here with guest Do Knight,
Hello.
and we're here to discuss Halloween/slash scary games. Yes?
Yeah. Um. Yeah.
Since, Halloween is coming up.
Lots of spooks, lots of ghosts, maybe some zombos, maybe. No, no, not really. They're kind of overplayed.
Well, we could start with the Zombos because when I was younger, I used to play a lot of those arcade rail type shooters where you'd have to shoot at zombies. I think it was called like House of the Dead or
House of
something.
the Dead.
Yeah,
Yes, it's so much fun. I am the G-Man,
yeah, it was a lot of
or something
fun.
like that. He might not be that, but it was something stupid. The voice acting makes that game great. It's just terrible voice acting.
What little there is. But yeah, I had a lot of fun playing that game, even though I never got very far because I didn't have many quarters. But
You
you
can
know,
you can always get the Dreamcast version, Typing of the Dead.
oh yeah,
It takes out all the tension and spooks and gives it back into having to type.
oh god, that sounds like fun.
If by fun you mean finger bleeding tormenting, yes, yes, very fun. In fact, I think there's a port of it on Steam. But they
Oh
have like little
god,
Dreamcasts on their backs with like little keyboards on them, and just like
oh
it's
jeez,
great.
I hate typing games. Ugh, had to play way too many.
Mavis Beacon teaches typing.
Oh god.
I hate that so much.
But as far as other scary games that I really like, I used to play a little bit of Amnesia. I never beat it though because like I don't know, I kind of sucked at the game. Like the puzzle solving aspect was fine for me. It was just the whole like getting over having to walk around in the dark and I was always like looking over my shoulder and stuff cuz like jump scares don't really do anything for me. That's why I don't like Five Nights at Freddy's too much, but like suspense like really affects me greatly. So survival horror games are very very scary to me.
Yeah. I the one time I actually played Amnesia was when you brought it over and like installed it onto my computer. I played it for a total of 10 minutes, and at the end of those 10 minutes, I was just laughing my ass off. While you were like curled up in defense, and I'm just like throwing chairs and throwing books and not a care in the world.
Well, yeah, it's actually funny when you throw stuff at the monster and the way he reacts. But a lot of times for me, I'm just too busy running that I can't pick anything up and throw it at him. And even if I do, I miss anyway. But the point is, they put a lot of that stuff there because throwing stuff at him does slow him down a little bit. But for me, it slows me down as well. So
Hmm.
it's kind of counterproductive for me to do that.
I mean, I do like the whole idea of being able to pick up and throw just about anything, because it adds immersion. Like for me personally, Amnesia never was that scary to me. Probably,
Yeah, but you feel like you're there.
yeah, no, definitely. I think I'll
Unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, where you're just sitting in a damn chair.
be sitting in a chair like,
And you
oh,
can't even eat the cupcake that's sitting on the desk. That's so dumb. I wanted to eat the cupcake.
well, you don't want it. Well, the cupcake eats you in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, so that's always
Oh,
fun.
oh, great.
Yeah, if you don't
I
pay
think that's like their joke for the fans is that I bet a lot of fans wanted to eat the cupcake, so they kind of
the cupcake
like I
eats you.
respect the developers for having a sense of humor
Yeah.
and for adding lore to it. Like I
Yeah.
don't like the gameplay aspect, but the lore is very interesting.
It's really good. Matt Pat from Game Theory, he and a bunch of other Five Nights at Freddy's YouTubers got together and did a stream where they were trying to figure out everything, right? And
Hmm.
Scott Cawthon, the creator, just basically just started editing his web page just to fuck with him. Sorry, can I say fuckers?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
So yeah, he just starts like asking questions, and he asks them four questions, and he's trying to help them because he's done with the horror genre. He's not done with Five Nights at Freddy's. Now it's an RPG with cutesy images. But
What?
yeah, go to scottgames.com, and yeah, it's. In fact, I have my computer here, my magical computer machine. This is really
Magical laptop.
this is getting off the rails really quick of a discussion.
Well, it's kind of like a stream of consciousness kind of thing because we
Yeah.
are discussing. So
This is what it is now.
what?
It's called FNAF World.
Okay, he's showing it to me. He's showing me the site.
Yeah.
I
It's an RPG game, and all of these characters are playable.
this looks scarier than the original game.
It does. They are like
They're really creepy looking.
yes, because they were creepy before, but now they're now they're cutesy, and cute things that are demonic are even creepier.
Yeah, like they look like Furbies.
Yeah.
That's awful. Especially the duck ones. They look really like Furbies.
He actually delayed the final update of this webpage for a whole day because he could not make this thing look cute to save his life. I'm
well,
talking about
it's the
Nightmare
least
Chica.
scary thing on this page. So there's
Look
that.
Look at this bundle of joy over here.
Yeah.
Phantom Foxy just looks like the best. He's just the best.
Oh god, not the why?
Endoskeletons, yeah, you gotta love those.
Yeah, oh.
This one actually does not look terrifying. Nightmare does not look terrifying compared to his Five Nights at Freddy's 4 counterpart, because he was translucent, and so you could
yeah.
like see a brain in his head,
Ew.
like an actual like human brain.
Yeah,
It's
I
kinda
haven't
spooky.
seen anything about the fourth game yet, so
The,
I don't care about spoilers though. So
it's a dream. It's a dream because the kid's screwed up in the head. He gets bit. Here.
he was dreaming about his own death.
Oh, the kid dies at the end of the game. Like,
Oh.
there's a sound clip, and it's really hidden. But in the final cutscene, there is a sound clip that talks about the heart monitor, and if you listen carefully, you can hear it flatline. At the end of the game, the kid dies. He is in the entire game takes place from a hospital bed. You get hints, because you have to look back at your bed every so often. It's the only game with any actual movement to your character,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to move from door to door to bed to closet. But you look back and you see things like sometimes there's a vase full of flowers, sometimes
Can we get rid of this? Sorry for interrupting. I just don't want those things staring at me anymore.
sometimes there's a vase full of flowers, sometimes there's a pill bottle, and sometimes there's an IV drip, and it's all alluding to you being in a hospital. You're not actually in your room, and like the mini games explain like the story leading up to it.
I love the mini games. They're amazing.
He gets bit by a Golden Freddy animatronic,
Mm-hmm.
Fredbear, on his birthday party, because his brother and his brother's friends are douchebags. And ironically, they're wearing the masks of all the other characters. So
Oh, that explains it.
there is a theory now that every single game never happened, and that it's all in his head, and that he's just reliving this nightmare over and over and over and over until he eventually dies.
That sucks. That's really dark. If that's true, that makes the games like a lot deeper than people expected.
The hints were like there's the toy animatronics from the second game, which never appear again.
Mm-hmm.
However, in this game, in the mini games, some of the kids have the toy animatronics as little action figures. One of them is a Toy Chica with her beak off, and that's weird because Toy Chica only takes her beak off in the second game to screw with the player. Well, if what I'm saying is true, then this is where he got the idea from. Toy Chica takes her beak off, and she's evil and demonic, even though the toy just had its beak broken off.
Mm-hmm.
One of the kids in one of the mini games in the fourth game talks about how they stuff you into suits at night and how you got to be careful and everything. So there goes that lore and everything. That also explains why Phone Guy is the same person, because all of it is just in your head. None of it is real. All of it is just this kid fighting for his life on a hospital bed in a coma, and just replaying this horrific event. His friends, his little stuffed animals, the only friends he has, turning on him and killing him every single time.
That sucks. But it's also really good. Yeah, we totally went off on a tangent there,
Yeah,
but that's
this just
really
became
interesting.
the Five Nights at Freddy's discussion.
Well, I mean, we are discussing Halloween
Yeah,
/ scary games, so
it is spoopy to some people. So
yeah. Well, it's a very popular game with kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I can see why, because like a lot of kids do have that fear of
Oh yeah,
animatronics.
I went to Chuck E. Cheese once, and I never went
Oh
near those
God.
animatronics ever again. They Chuck E.
I went there once as well for to a friend's birthday party, and yeah, it wasn't very fun. It kind of smelled weird. The pizza tasted awful.
The pizza tasted awful. The place smells of urine.
Sorry, Chuck E. Cheese, if you're watching.
I'm not sorry. That mouse gave me nightmares.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the game is based on Chuck
Oh, yeah.
E. Cheese bad experiences.
No, actually, it has a lot to do with people like Jim Sterling, that Five Nights at Freddy's exists.
Oh yeah.
Because he created this game called Chippers and Sons Lumber Company,
Mm-hmm.
and people like Jim Sterling were reviewing it, and they were saying this is horrific. These animatronics are nightmarish looking. They are legitimately terrifying me. And Scott
Oh
apparently
yeah,
got
I
into
remember
like a
seeing that.
big depression and everything, and then he decided, you know what, I'll make one more game. If it works, I'll continue making games. If it doesn't work, then I'll go back to like I think he was working at a grocery store or something.
Yeah.
But he decided to make a horror game out of this. He's like, if people think it's scary, well then damn it, let's make it scary.
Well, in a way, it's good that it became so popular
Mhm.
because it led to him not losing his confidence.
Yep. He this
And it's always great to have indie developers
Yes.
in the gaming world.
yes, and people will bash him all the time because yes, 4 games in 1 year, a bit overboard. But I don't look at it.
But
like
they're
that.
made really well.
I look at it like a sort of Telltale Games type of thing. People don't bash Telltale for releasing episodic games, even
Mhm.
though they are essentially, even though it's 5 episodes to a season, it is essentially one game at a time to make one big collection at the end. It's not, oh, well, we made this part of a game here and this part of a game there. No,
Yeah.
it's a self-contained story that adds to the overarching plot of the game. So episode 1 of, say, The Walking Dead is Walking Dead 1. And then there's Walking Dead 2 and Walking Dead 3. They're small games, that's why they're $5 a piece. But they shouldn't be considered anything less than their own individual game that come together to form a complete coherent story.
Mhm.
It's the same thing as big AAA titles that have trilogies, only these are much smaller, more bite-sized versions. So I have no problem with Scott releasing 4 games in 1 year, especially since the demand was there for it. People criticized it, but it's the whole thing of striking while the iron's hot. If people are saying we want more, we can't wait for more, why not give it to them if you know you can do it quickly?
Yeah, exactly. And even for making the games quickly, like they
He
are
put-
made very well.
He put time, effort, and one thing in particular.
They look good and they work well
They-
for the simplistic gameplay. Like the AI is pretty good.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about the fact that everything in the game matters to the lore. Like there are no random Easter eggs. He said that himself. Everything in the games matter to the lore. So despite how quickly the turnaround is for those games, he works through them. He thinks through them. Those are complete finished games. Every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like the experience, it's cool. If you're like me and it's not your thing and you just like to learn about the story, then you sit back, you watch somebody else play it, and you do a bunch of reviewing on the wiki. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like, it's got probably one of the most diehard fan bases. And I mean, like, I say this with the truest sense of the meaning. Five Nights at Freddy's has limitless potential. It's 4 games now in a horror genre. And imagine if Five Nights at Freddy's World works as an RPG. Then he can branch out even further, because if an RPG works, who's to say something else won't work?
Yeah.
You can keep going.
Five Nights at Freddy's shooter.
Like,
That would be hilarious. I would probably try that.
I'd personally love like an asymmetrical type game, sort of like to what we're going to talk about later, where it's you play 4 people who are the animatronics and one person's the night guard, and your goal is to
I was
kill
just
him.
thinking that like you could have a perspective where like the camera is like
Mhm.
kind of clouded because you have to look through.
And if
the
you
suit.
and the reason it's 4v1 in favor of, with the 4 being the killers in this instance, it would work because the security guard has all the power. He hits you with a flashlight and you have to get away, or else you could say like, okay, you shut down or whatever, and that hurts you and you shut down for a while and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can work that in very well. Like, I think there's so much you can
Or
do.
like I don't think a flashlight would affect like animatronics, but if he had like a taser or
Well,
something, it would probably.
It does in the other games. So I was saying it would keep with.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the flashlight.
My
is
bad.
What, the flashlight.
You can tell I
flashes-
haven't played much of them.
The flashlight effect. Well, in some of the games it does. Like in the second game, it stops Foxy in his or her tracks, and in its tracks.
I think Foxy was confirmed to be female, but I'm not sure.
Everything's been considered. As far as I know from him, everything is genderless to him. So.
Well, yeah, I mean they are animatronics,
Yeah,
so I don't.
it doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
The point
I'm
is,
just thinking maybe Foxy should be female so that there's 2 boys, 2 girls.
Yeah, it's totally fine. But yeah, so I think that's the really cool thing about Five Nights at Freddy's is that it has limitless potential, whereas a lot of other genres don't. Especially the fact that its gameplay is so simplistic, it turns it into something that can be made into anything. Like
Yeah.
there's not that big of a rule set. There's not that defined of a universe. Like I said, the storyline is so unknown. There's so many unknowns at this point. The game could be an entire dream, and if that's the case, you can do anything with a game that's a dream.
What would be cool is if they had like a level maker kind of thing where you designed like your own
You designed your own
maps. Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That would, because and then other players, like, you could challenge them to take on your map and see if they could survive.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't be like, 5 days or whatever. They could just have it be one day and see if they could survive the map. That would be cool. I would want to try that out.
I think, like I said, I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful how they've done with that.
Yeah. It's just such an inspirational story.
Mm-hmm.
But you did mention The Walking Dead before, and I know that you streamed some of it, and I want to hear about that because it could also be considered a Halloween-esque game.
The Walking Dead. I'm gonna be totally honest. When the games first came out, when Telltale's games first came out, I was in that camp of, oh, these aren't games. What are these doing with my other video games? What are these? This is point and click. This doesn't exist anymore. This is dead.
Oh, I love point and click though.
I-
Zombinis is the shit.
I'd never played a point and click game, and I
Really?
up to that
Even
point,
the time that like we grew up, point and click was like the main thing on PC.
I didn't have a computer until I was like 12.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I didn't have a computer until I was like 12. I grew up with the Sega Genesis, so I grew up with one of those edgy kids. Like yeah.
Nintendo is what Genesis isn't.
and Genesis does what Nintendo don't. So
Well, I came up with the Nintendo one as kind of like a counteract,
yeah,
like a comeback for it, but it's kind of lame.
We-
That's
we
probably
all-
why they never like used
yeah,
anything
we,
like that.
We all know by now the SNES far superior to the Genesis, but I grew up with the Sega Genesis. Then I had a PS1, so it was always like RPGs or cartoon
PlayStation
platformers.
like outsold everything. Like, oh my god.
So yeah, I was always in the camp of the platformers and the RPGs. I never touched a point and click.
What's funny is that the SNES actually had a point and click with Clock Tower.
Yeah, I didn't know that franchise existed. To be totally honest with you, I didn't even know the franchise existed at the time. I do now, and I'm glad I do because man.
But
Telltale,
it still made you apprehensive about The Walking Dead.
and it really made me mad because it's like, well, this is just an interactive movie, and it's winning Game of the Year awards and everything, and I was like, I don't appreciate that. But one day on my Xbox 360, they were selling this first episode of the game for free, and I was like, well, I've bashed the crap out of this game. I guess the least I can do is give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I did, and I immediately felt bad for everything that I said. The story is so well done, and you feel so emotionally invested in every characters. Even characters that die in the first episode, you're like, I don't want you to die.
Yeah.
Like, you get the choice between Carly and Doug at first, and you always go with the chick with the gun. Always go with the chick with the gun. If you go for the nerdy blonde dude, something's wrong. Chick with the gun, because not only can she be a potential love interest, she saves your ass more times in the next episode of the game than she does than anyone else does. It's just like every 5 seconds she is blowing somebody's brains out, saving you. So
Badass.
so yeah, while Doug has a couple really cool moments in the second episode, Carly is just the badass with the gun. And also she becomes a love interest until, spoiler, she dies in episode 3 because somebody, and I won't say names, is a stupid whore.
Well then, I can tell your experience with the game was very attached.
Oh yeah, no, it was a lot of fun, and I loved it. And then I got to play season 2, where you play as Clementine, because again, spoiler, and honestly, if you haven't played it yet, what the hell is wrong with you? It's amazing. Go play. Lee dies.
To be honest, I was apprehensive about the game as well because I thought that the art style was kind of weird. It seemed very like blocky to me.
Yeah.
But then I realized why they did it, because The Walking Dead was a comic series.
Yeah.
They decided to go with the cell shading like comic book style, and now I really appreciate that after I figured it out. I was fucking stupid, but yeah, I really think that's cool that they like are drawing attention to you know, the roots of the series.
And it was so it gets you so emotionally invested, and it's just like every time somebody dies and you see something that could have been avoided, and you're just like, I want to avoid this now, and you can't, and it has a way of like ripping your heart out and then stabbing it as many times as possible, and then putting it back in, and then sewing it back up so that way it starts to feel better, just so they can do the whole process over. And it's just always that. And then at the end, you know, Clementine has to kill Lee, and that is the worst thing. The worst emotions I can explain, because Clementine at this point, you've grown attached. She's like your daughter, and you feel for Lee, and Lee is going to die, and he just wants one thing and one thing only. And by the way, if you don't kill Lee, that is worse. That is worse if you just let him become a zombie. That is worse.
Yeah. I would definitely kill someone before letting them go through that, because I always kind of wondered with zombie franchises, like, they never really explore how it feels for the person to become a zombie, because that's really hard to convey.
Half-Life did.
Through visual media. Oh, yeah?
Half-Life 2 did it, yeah. Their zombies scream in agony and everything, and if you play their audio in reverse, it's like they're screaming, "Oh God, help me, it hurts."
Well, yeah, because, like, imagine it. First you get bitten by something, which hurts anyway. They probably tear off a piece of your flesh as well. And then you're, like, going through this transformation that probably stops your blood from flowing and, you know...
Of course, Half-Life zombies are a bit different than normal zombies because it's a parasitic type thing that keeps them alive, so... They're kept alive because the head crabs need them alive to feed. So they're basically being forced... Ugh. They're being controlled, manipulated, all while being conscious and feeling everything that happens to them.
Yeah, I always kind of wondered, since zombies are kind of living dead, if they're, like, aware of what they're doing. Because, like, I don't know. With some zombie media, they, like, really dumb them down, so I think, okay, well, then they're just mindless. But then the other night, I watched for the first time Night of the Living Dead, and the zombies in that movie are smart, and they use tools, and, you know, so I'm, like, wondering if they're actually aware of what they're doing, and there's a scene where they're, like, eating people's guts and stuff, and I was like, God, like, if they're aware that they're doing that, but they can't, like, physically, if they can't physically feed on anything else, you know... That sucks.
Yeah, that's terrible, man.
Especially since, spoilers, at the end of the movie, you see the brother who gets killed at the beginning is a zombie, and he, like, eats his own sister, and I was like, God, that's just terrible. And then there's, like, a daughter who stabs her mother to death, and, like, oh my God, it's crazy.
But, yeah, then after you kill Lee and everything, you go off and You don't know if Clementine's like alone or if she met up with the other two survivors that are there. Uh, yeah, she does. That's cool to begin episode 2, and then they kill one of them. He dies. Like your buddy Omid, the guy who was like a history buff with you and Lee, and like you became really good friends really quickly, and then he's like gonna be the father of Clementine, and then he dies like immediately in the introduction, and then they fast forward, and Krista, his girlfriend, spoiler, who is pregnant, spoiler, there's no baby. There's you and there's Clementine, but there ain't no baby. There's Clementine and Krista, but there ain't no baby, and she's thin. So, wonder what happened to that baby. Oh, the future that's gonna save us from the zombie apocalypse, the miscarriage, right? Or an abortion or whatever, because that baby didn't make it. Yay! This is the first 10 minutes of season 2! You know you're in for a trip when they have a core character die and a baby that doesn't make it in the first 10 minutes. Like,
That's harsh.
and it just gets worse because you get I'm just gonna spoil the entire Walking Dead by the end of this.
Yeah, this is turned into the spoiler show since we've talked about like Five Nights at Freddy's lore and
Just been spoiling
Walking
everything.
Dead. Yeah. But let's see. Other Halloween games that we liked. Oh yeah, I talked about Amnesia, and you said that the company that made Amnesia: The Dark Descent's coming out with a new one.
Oh, they're not coming out. It's out. It came out.
It came out already.
It came out like a week ago, I think.
Oh wow.
It's called Soma.
Yeah, I heard of it, but I haven't really seen much about it. But now that it's come out, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a flood of like
Oh, there already is.
walkthroughs and yeah.
Already is. Markiplier, who has been on a hiatus for a while because a friend of his committed suicide. So he took like 3 weeks off, which is like very unusual for him because he's never missed an upload date ever.
Yeah, but his fan base is really nice. They're always like, you do you, because like there was one time when he was in the hospital for something, I forget exactly, and they were like, just get better.
Yeah.
I love his fan base. They're amazing.
But so he finally just came back a couple like he's been back, but he's been slowly getting back into the swing of things. And he just really like picked up full production this week, and he started off with Soma.
Mm-hmm.
And he's only on episode. I think his 3rd episode will be coming out today or is out. But like promotion from Markiplier. There you go. Like he needs it, but still.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think he needs the free advertising, but
like
I'm sure he appreciates it nonetheless.
But I've been watching his playthrough of it, and no, thank you. I don't. This is one I don't want to spoil because it has been. It's like not even been out a week, I don't think.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to spoil anything about this, but let's just say something happens, something crazier happens, then even crazier stuff happens, then there's a big twist, and then even more crazy shit happens.
The thing I have to say about that company is that they're very good at creating atmosphere.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, beautiful.
And based on what you're telling me, it sounds like they have vastly improved. Like, Amnesia: The Dark Descent was good, don't get me wrong, but, like, since that didn't scare you, and this game is, I'm sure they have improved a lot, and I'm probably never going to be able to play it because I would probably shit myself.
Metallic hallways that are dark, that are very open with not many things in them, loud, echoey, stompy sounds, and you don't know if it's you or something else. That's beautiful.
Oh, God. See, I hate that because, like, there's probably also an echo with your footsteps, so you
so
wouldn't
you
be
don't
able to
know
tell
if
the
it's
distance.
you or something else.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh.
And when you think it
kind
is you,
of like Alien Isolation.
oh yes.
That's another game we have to talk about, but we'll finish this first.
Alan Insulin. But without giving much, there is a very quick scenario. Well, first of all, this has AI where this has like NPCs and everything, which is something that Amnesia didn't have as far as I know.
Yeah, you were like all alone.
Yeah, this actually has NPCs.
Except for like one other guy that you meet, but he's kind of like half severed. So he's kind of dead and just hanging there. So you talk to him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
and you go on like a fetch quest for him. But
gonna-
that's the only other
these
person.
people are very much alive. One of them to the point where they're screaming in agony. I won't say why, I won't say how, but they're screaming in agony, and you have to hear that for an entire section. Have fun.
Oh, there's like a level where there's like a torture room, I bet.
I'm not going to explain what happens. Just remember that your goal is to get them to stop screaming. So the entire time you're there trying to figure out how to stop them from screaming, they're screaming. Even after you walk away for a little bit, you can still faintly hear their screams of
God.
agony. It's
See, that wouldn't scare me. That would just annoy them.
it's not scary, but it's not annoying. It's like
Unsettling.
it's unsettling, and it
Yeah.
really makes you feel like a horrible person. Like
Yeah, 'cause you
I
can't-
want to
well,
help them, and I don't know
yeah,
how.
you can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, like it just makes you feel.
It's
super
probably
helpless.
worse if it's like a child or something. Is it a child?
Okay, it's not a child, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
But it's pretty unsettling, especially when you find out the big twist after that, and then you realize, oh my god, it's even worse than I imagined.
Sorry about the phone.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, I mean, we have been talking for over half an hour, so it was bound to happen eventually. But anyway,
So, what other games? I mean, like I don't.
Alien
really
Isolation we mentioned.
Alan Insulin, yes. I'm gonna keep calling it Alan Insulin because thanks to Joel from Vinesauce and that him calling him, God damn it, phone.
But yeah, I was really impressed with Alien Isolation because there haven't been too many good Alien games.
And there haven't been there's only been one good Alien game from Sega, so this had a lot of good chance to fail. And they gave it to an RTS studio in Creative Assembly. This is, as far as I know, Creative Assembly's first non-RTS project, and they just hit it out of the park.
Yeah, they really did. They got the atmosphere of the Alien movies with the art style. I mean, I guess they like watched the movies over and over and over to get every little detail and like studied H.R. Geiger like art and stuff because they got the architecture of the ship down pat.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the AI of the alien. It's pretty unpredictable. It doesn't like
Yeah.
follow a set path or anything like that, which I think is really cool.
I absolutely loved the Aliens AI. It was smart. It adapted to the situation. You couldn't keep doing the same thing over and over again unless you're playing Ring Around the Rosie with it on a certain doctor's table. But that was just a bug, so I don't count that. But the AI was outside of that one instance I saw, it was really good. Like,
Well, a lot of times with AI, there are some bugs here and there.
yeah, it's bound to happen. And I'm glad it was only one doctor's table in one specific room, so it didn't bug out any other time. But like I said, like you could hide in a cabinet, but if you hid in the cabinet too many times, it would just start hunting.
It would learn
Yeah,
from your
It
gameplay.
learns, and that I
That's
think
some
is
of the things I've seen is like when people go down, like if they keep dying and they go down this same path
Mhm.
too many times, then the alien will start going down that path because it's like, well, I know you're going to go down this path because
Mhm.
it's like the quickest way to the goal, but no, you have to find another way around because
yeah.
you're going to run into trouble.
It's like, okay, so you think that just because I walked past that you can sprint by. Well, I know you've been sprinting by me enough, so now the moment I hear footsteps,
Oh my
gonna-
god, I'm gonna pause it this time.
Uh,
Sorry about that. Hopefully the phone situation has been taken care of.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully the recording picked up our talking over it, but
It was loud and annoying. And why phone? Why do you hate me? Anyway,
so we were talking about the AI and how it learns.
yeah, I have a theory about that AI. I think that Skynet is real, and that they're learning from us, because like first was Kyle difficulty and Killer Instinct, which learns from your playstyle and makes it more difficult to play against, and that's not fun. And the AI is cheating, and I hate it, and I want it to die. And then you get the alien learns from you, and now I want that to die, and just getting things that are just like, hey, you know how you play that way? Well, guess what? I'm gonna work myself so that way you can't play the way you play.
Yeah. Because there are a lot of different play styles in survival horror games. There are people who just run past the monster, which it will learn that and chase after you.
Yep.
There are people who hide all the time, like me, and it will find you eventually. And then there's the run and gun style where they just use as many items as possible, like the flares and the flamethrowers and stuff.
Which very
They don't
well may-
always work.
No, and the flamethrower eventually it starts. Eventually, what will happen is you'll run out of ammo, and when you run out of ammo,
Well, fuel.
Well, fuel,
Yeah.
ammo. It works the same way. You know, you have a limited supply and it runs out, and then the alien says, "Oh, what's that? Your precious little flamethrower's out. Well, it's time for you to die." And then
Let me just stick my tail through your abdomen.
or give you a very quick kiss of death.
Yeah. I love the death animations as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely terrifying. The one with the tail going through like your lower stomach is pretty gruesome.
What makes them even worse is that you don't notice it. Like the way they have them react. I like the abdomen the tail to abdomen stab the best because
he does it from behind and you
don't
you think
recognize
you're
it.
safe.
You just, especially since normally you'll just take quick pauses in your steps to check to see if he's there. So normally when he gets you like that, you're taking a pause in your walking yourself. So you just think everything's fine. Then all of a sudden your character
It's
looks
like,
down
psh.
themselves.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Just penetrate me, buddy. Thanks for that. Yeah, the alien kills you in very sexual ways. He penetrates you or he kisses you.
Well, his head is a giant penis. So what do you expect?
Yeah. H.R. Geiger. Love your art, dude. He really does have a lot of really cool art pieces.
Mhm.
There's one with like a head that we're getting off topic again.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, actually there's one that kind of looks like the machine from the first Pokemon movie.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's kind of spirally.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an art piece of his that looks like that. But anyway,
Um,
he's one of my favorite artists, so of course I'm going to talk about him a lot.
So,
But
any other Halloween games that have come out that you want to discuss?
as far as past ones, not really recent. Those who watch my channel know I did that one Scooby-Doo game, but there's also an N64 counterpart which I've never played, but however, I do have a GameCube game that is a Scooby-Doo one, and I enjoy that one a lot because it gets the humor of Scooby-Doo really well. It's called
Like that
Night
new
of
show.
100 Frights or 1,000 Frights. Night of some number frights.
It's Scooby-Doo spooky game. That's all you need to know.
But yeah, you can get like these power-ups that help you against the monsters. You can get a lampshade and slippers that like are a disguise. So when there's a monster near, you can press a button and Scooby-Doo will put on the lampshade and
become
freeze in place.
instantly hammered.
No. He'll become invisible to the monster. Like the
Mhm.
monster will see you and you put that on and he'll instantly go like, "Huh?" and like turn around and go the other way.
Please tell me that he flips the light switch and then it's just Scooby's head. Please.
Oh, I haven't tried that yet.
Please tell
I'm
me
gonna have
he
to try
reacts
that.
to the lamp by trying to turn the lamp on. Like that would be great.
Oh my god. But the game is kind of difficult. There's this one section that I had a lot of trouble on. I haven't played it in like over a year though, so I'll have to get back into it. But yeah, that game is really fun cuz it got the humor really right and the gameplay like it controls really well. The N64 one didn't really like from what I've seen doesn't seem to control that well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the GameCube one controls really well, and that's good because there's a lot of platforming sections.
It's the GameCube. Everything controls well in the GameCube.
Well,
At least
yeah.
mostly everything.
Yeah, there were probably a couple duds, but the GameCube did have a lot of good controlled games.
Oh, here's a game that came out recently that's very spooky. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. You know why it's spooky?
I agree.
Because it haunts the memory of your childhood. That's why it's spooky. It's truly the scariest thing because you realize when you play that game that your childhood is over and it's never coming back.
Wow. Deep. Real
I
deep.
hate that game so much. I feel like my childhood has been sexually assaulted by Activision, and I'm saying this in the most honest term. I hate them. I hate them because I didn't have many games when I grew up. I didn't have many games. I was a poor kid. I'm still not doing too well financially, but I'm doing much better. Um, I hated that I couldn't get all the games that I wanted. But one game I really wanted was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And I got that game. And I played that game to no end and I loved it. I love the Tony Hawk games in general because I couldn't do the skateboarding stuff. I've never been a sports guy.
Yeah.
So I would play this and it would make me feel good about myself because I couldn't do that.
Oh yeah, when I was little, like Tony Hawk and Michael Jordan were like the two guys that I really looked up to in sports, and like I was never big on sports anyway. I didn't watch them that often, but they were like my heroes.
Yeah.
So I think I had one of the skateboarding games, but I've lost track of it by now. It's been too many years.
But, and I stayed with Tony Hawk for the longest time. I didn't get Pro Skater 4, but I did get Underground and Underground 2, and although they weren't as good, I still enjoyed them. I got, I played American Wasteland. I never got any more after Underground 2, but I kept like really following it. Even Ride, which I thought was just an abomination of a game. Like I was like, well, okay, they can bounce back. And then I heard of the HD remakes of 1 and 2, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, and I'm like, well, these aren't bad, but they're not good either. The physics were off. It felt floaty and everything.
Oh yeah.
It didn't feel right, and that's the worst part. And then they came out with 5, which is a buggy abomination of a game. It doesn't work. It never worked. It's broken. Its big new innovative thing is the big slam feature where you can slam onto your rails to grind. You can slam out of a spinal transfer. It does not work, and when it does work, it feels off. Like a spine transfer normally feels like very natural and organic. This, you go from like sideways straight to vertical. You go from horizontal to vertical. There's like almost no animation to it, and that's the worst part. And then you have just some really weird crap with the game. Like it doesn't. It's not Tony Hawk. It's like bad enough that the game doesn't feel good, but it's even worse that the game clearly wasn't finished and it wasn't ready. It needed a few more weeks, and that's the worst part. It didn't even need like another year or two. It just needed a few weeks to a couple months, and it would have been fine. It would have been crap, but it would have been passable crap.
Yeah, it would have been playable.
Yes, here it's still playable to an extent, but I mean, and I don't get me wrong. I think the people that worked on it legitimately love the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise, but they're not Neversoft. And Neversoft really are the only people that got it. And I hate to say that because I was hopeful, but they're the only people that seem to understand how to make a skateboarding game. And that's all there is to it. I mean, come on. They made a reskin of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater with Disney characters and it worked. That's a real thing. That exists.
I need to find that.
That exists. And it works.
Is Aladdin in it? Because I could totally see Aladdin being a skateboarder.
I think Aladdin's in it. I know that young Tarzan's in it.
Well, yeah, he has to be in it.
Young Tarzan's
Because, I mean,
in
they
it.
based his movements off of skateboarders, so...
Buzz Lightyear's in it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. I found out about it through SGDQ.
That's cool.
But yeah, so, like, Neversoft knows how to make a skateboarding game. These guys have an idea of how to make a skateboarding game, but they don't have it right. They don't have the right formula. They're using the same formula they used from the Underground game, the remakes of 1 and 2. And, quite honestly, this should not be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. Let the franchise die. The franchise has been dead for the longest time. You saying we want to get back to our roots, I appreciate. But this is not Tony Hawk's roots. If you want to get back to the roots, hire some of the people that worked on the actual games. Hire some of the people from Neversoft. That, by the way, thanks Activision, are out of a fucking job because Neversoft got closed down. So yeah, so there's never going to be a real Tony Hawk game because unless the developers work together with Activision in another studio on it, and it frustrates me because the people that made the games great had to get stuck doing Call of Duty, and then Call of Duty bombed the year they got stuck doing Call of Duty the year Call of Duty bombed, and they were the casualty, not the people that have been making the franchises that have been making the games for the longest time. No, the people that got strapped on to help Activision, which is essentially two people behind a computer at this point. So they and not Sledgehammer because oh no, we want Sledgehammer to be our new like big number 3 to have Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer for Call of Duty. So no, who gets the axe? Neversoft. Neversoft, the company that never wanted to do those games in the first place, got the axe because Call of Duty bombed that year.
I don't know, man. Video game companies have been going down the toilet for a while now. I mean, you've seen all the drama happening with the company that must not be named.
Oh.
That one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they are who they are, and they are the worst.
Yeah.
Big Boss Pachinko!
We're not gonna go into that.
I don't need to say anything. I think I've said enough with that phrase right there.
Yeah. I saw another channel where they had this theory that if you said their name, you would get magically turned into a pachinko machine.
No, that happens. If you go into your bathroom in the dark and you look into your mirror and you say fuck Konami, fuck Konami, fuck Konami in your mirror, you will turn into a pachinko machine. You will turn into a Metal Gear Solid 5 pachinko machine.
Or sexy Castlevania.
Or Silent Hill. You deliver. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, Konami. Oh my god.
And now this has turned from Five Nights at Freddy's to a rant video.
This went from Halloween themed to spoilers to from Halloween to Five Nights at Freddy's to spoilers to ranting on anything and everything that exists that sucks about the industry today.
Well, let's talk about some of the good stuff, like
Okay.
the current Halloween-ish games.
Ah, yes.
So, Friday the 13th is gonna come out soon, and that looks pretty promising.
Yes.
They got a lot of the team that worked on the movies to give input for the video game, so at least we know that it's coming from a source that is somewhat reliable, I should hope.
I've always been like super interested in asymmetrical multiplayer ever since like people have started trying it. I think it's a really good idea to have a bunch of people on one side that are weaker that ultimately add up to being equal to one or a smaller group. I think that's a great idea. Like Evolve didn't have a lot of content to it, but its concept was brilliant. And I played that a lot when it was free, when I was in the beta, because I was not going to pay money for that game because it didn't have enough content, but I digress. It was still fun, and it was fun to play the monster, and it was fun to play the hunters. It was fun. It was good. This has the opportunity to be amazing because you could be Jason Voorhees that is literally hacking and slashing and strangling and murdering, and you can be the camp counselors that are just like, oh no, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have sex at a camp. I don't want to die.
It depends on what kind of experience you're looking for. If you want survival horror, you would play as the camp counselors.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking to just do like a hack and slash kind of game, then you would obviously
I don't think it's going to be
the slasher.
I don't think it's going to be a hack and slash for him. I think there's going to be a lot more of it's going to be more of a strategy game for Jason.
Yeah, you don't want to like get caught. So there might be a bit of stealth put in there as well.
Like I know there's stealth for the camp counselors because you can like sneak around and try to avoid his sight and everything. But I think there's going to be just as much.
You want to.
I think there's going to be just as much stealth for Jason, and I think there's a lot of stuff because he has that mist that allows him to teleport. So imagine just being able to be like, oh.
But how much stealth could you really have when they play that sound clip whenever you show up?
Well, that's the thing. when you're in that big open environment, you know, you that music could play when you're in the vicinity, and you don't have to be like directly out in the open. You could be hiding behind trees, and it would throw them off because they'd be like, he's there, but they don't know where. You know what I mean? So it gets people super paranoid, and you take advantage of the paranoia because when people get paranoid, they screw up, and when they screw up, they die.
Yeah. It's very true.
Another game that's a lot like Friday the 13th that I'm personally more interested in Friday the 13th because I feel it has more to it than Friday the 13th could, and that's not a knock on it because it's gonna have a lot of content from the way they're saying it. It's called Last Day. Now, I have been really interested in this ever since I heard about it back around this time last year when their Kickstarter got announced. This thing is a 5v1 asymmetrical multiplayer horror game, and you know, one person's gonna be the villain. It could be some type of slasher, someone like there's a bunch of different like slasher flick villains. They're knockoff versions, obviously, because they don't have the licenses to them. In fact, they almost got knocked down before they even got started because one of the concept arts had one of their slashers looking a little too close to Jason, and Crystal Lake Entertainment was like, no.
Yeah.
We're gonna strike you down. So they almost lost their Kickstarter instantly on that. But luckily they were able to fix everything. They changed the mask up, so they're good now. He's now a knockoff Jason Voorhees rather than looking like almost identical to him.
Yeah.
But
Bootleg Jason.
yeah, he's a bootleg Jason. Okay, so let's. I'm actually gonna go to the Kickstarter because it's easier to talk about that way.
Yeah, it's a good idea. But yeah, that sounds really interesting. I've been interested in like. I mean, can you choose if you're playing as the victims or the?
I would assume so.
Okay.
It's a first person's multiplayer survival horror. It's 5v1. It's PC only. So if you don't have a good PC, which I don't, so I won't be playing it.
Yeah, I don't either. My PC can't even play Amnesia. I have to play it on other computers because my PC is like 7 or 8 years old by now.
Also, I love what I love about both of these projects is that they're very similar in concept and the fact that they're going for the cheesy 80s slasher flick vibe.
Oh, perfect.
So, like, I'm going to read you a little quote from their game synopsis here. Is explore familiar territory based on classic horror movie locations including Camp Silver Lake and East Side High. You'll play the roles of 5 stereotypical high school characters while cooperating to complete objectives and survive.
So you're going to have the jock, you're going to have the nerd, you're going to have the airhead blonde chick / horror.
Yep.
Oh,
yes.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect.
You're going to have the horror.
There is character art, people.
You're going to have the horror.
Oh god, the support character.
Yes, you have to have the token black guy.
He's labeled as support though. That's awful.
Because he's gonna support them by dying.
Oh my god. Well, it really is based on 80s slasher.
Okay, they even have names. Amber is the scout. She can spot the killer and display his position on the map. So she's like the look.
By screaming.
Yes.
Yes.
That's her. Chad the jock is going to be the big buff guy who
we're gonna make jokes about this.
Yes. Chad's gonna be the big jock guy who is going to try to fight the killer.
Yeah. And eventually lose. Because
he is weak to his attacks.
Yep.
Chad, Nick, who is the technician, he fixes phone lines, generators, picks, locks, hot wires, vehicles, and anything else that needs to be repaired. He is the electrician. Essentially, what he does is you're going to be your means of escape. Basically, you lose Nick,
he's the gadget guy. Yeah.
You're screwed without Nick.
Basically, he's the most useful character. Keep him the hell alive.
Yeah, the nerd is the most important person. Then you have the medic, who is the geeky girl. You have to have the geeky guy and the geeky girl.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. She's the medic. Obviously, she heals wounded players. And then Troy, the support, the token black guy. He also offers.
I'm curious to see what their description for him is.
Also offers protection and can place traps for the killer, which deals damage and slows him down.
Oh,
so
that's
he's
cool.
going to be the slowing guy. He can melee attack and stun the killer the same way as Chad. So basically, he's more of a defensive version of the assault.
Yeah.
Whereas Chad's going to be like actively looking out for the killer. Troy's going to be staying back in case he gets through Chad to someone else. But he's still probably going to be the first to die because let's just get these stereotypes out of the way right now. He is black. He's the token black character.
They always die first.
The people that are playing the game are going to go for him.
Except in Night of the Living Dead, because spoilers, he dies last.
Well, that trope wasn't around at that point, if I'm not mistaken. That trope wasn't a thing then.
Yeah, I know, but it was also very revolutionary because he was the first black man to star in a horror film as the main character.
Here's a
I really think is cool.
Here's a GIF that explains how the predator plays. The killer's position, unspotted by other players. If he's not spotted, he can teleport to a nearby area. He can unspawn and become invisible, much like Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead's in versus mode. If he's not spotted, he can unspawn, walk up to another room near them.
That could be helpful because if you're like at the other side of the school and you want to get somewhere real fast.
Well, you're a killer, so you're the killer, so you're slow. So that's your means of adding up to it. You can despawn if you see them, and go around and hide nearby and respawn and then jump out and assault them, which is amazing, because that adds for like the spook levels, and also again cheesy 80s horror flick. You see the guy halfway down around the corner, then all of a sudden he's right behind you.
Yeah.
It explains it. I love it.
Yeah, this is definitely staying true to the tropes.
Okay, and they give you the killer's like strengths and weaknesses as well as survivor strengths and weaknesses. So the killer's able to spawn and unspawn, and position his or herself to make the perfect surprise attack. And he always knows where the survivors are.
So like, there's probably a map that shows where the survivors are, but it doesn't show where the killer is.
Or their bodies are out, or their bodies are highlighted for him when he's playing.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the map would have. I'm not talking. Survivors.
I'm actually not talking about the map. I'm talking about like something similar to Left 4 Dead. Their bodies may like glow with a green outline in game, so that he always knows where they're at.
Maybe.
His weaknesses are that he is slow. Like I said, so that means he has to surprise people or lure them into traps. Survivors, they are very fast, and they can hide, which is really good. When they are hiding in environment locations like lockers, canoes, and closets, they become invisible, even if he's using his stupid predator mode. So like I thought, predator mode, he sees the outlines of their bodies on screen.
But if they're hiding, that goes away.
Yep.
That's cool.
But the weakness is that they are weak and easily killed in close range melee combat.
Yeah. But they make up for that by hiding.
So yeah, it's not just survival horror, it's strategy survival horror. Everything has to be planned out for both sides.
Well, this looks really cool.
And then here's some locations that they're doing. Silver Lake Summer Camp, which is supposed to be like Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
And Eastside High.
Which is probably like from the Scream movie, right?
I think, but I wouldn't know, honestly, because I'm not a big horror movie guy.
Yeah, me neither. I'm just assuming because I know like most of Scream takes place at school.
Also, they have a pretty good list of accolades for the developers working on this game. They have worked on games in the Assassin's Creed franchise, Far Cry, Crysis,
Osiris, Hitman.
Yep.
That's cool.
Oh, Oculus Rift support.
Oh my god, this game on Oculus though. Voice chat, that's cool. Survivors only channel so that the killer won't be able to hear. That's pretty cool.
Although we know everybody's going to use Skype, so it's going to be fun to see people like sneak into a Skype chat and just be like, "Hello everybody.
Yeah.
Are you ready to die?"
Well, they should have a thing where the killer can speak to the survivors and like taunt them.
Yes.
But then he won't be able to hear the survivors because they are strategizing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see if they incorporate something like that. But anyway, so more free advertising for a Kickstarter.
It's always good to advertise quality projects, so that way these things do well.
Even if we don't get paid for it,
it's always good for things we believe in.
I still want to see it, come to fruition.
This is going to happen. It's been paid off and everything. It's Kickstarter succeeded.
But they can make it better.
Yeah.
If there's more, they can add more content.
Well, at this point, the Kickstarter's been over for a while now. It's just getting the name out there so that way people will buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I want people to actively buy this, because the more people that buy this, the more they can add content later. Because it looks very much like this is a proof of concept.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Small
Like
game.
they could add more content because right now they only have 2 maps.
It's a $10 game.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that's not bad.
no, it's not bad at all. It's gonna be a $10 game because like people get a full copy of the game for PC for back in $10. So I can assume it'll be $10 for at launch.
Yeah, yeah.
What it also means is, you know, if it sells well, they can add more DLC. And I think DLC is a great thing if it's used properly.
Yeah, like if they add another map.
Yeah, like this game is clearly just supposed to be a small little fun game for people. It's not It's very inexpensive. And it looks like it's gonna be a ton of fun. Honestly, I'm just like loving the idea of having somebody having to play like the prissy chick just screaming her head off from halfway down the street.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
While everybody else is just like panicking while the big jock guy tries to bum rush him and gets wrecked. That's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be one of those games where you're probably like gonna see a lot of short videos of hilarious moments, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
But yeah, if they added another map, like what would you want to see be added?
What I like to be added, graveyard. I think it's like stereotypical and obvious, but graveyard.
But there aren't really many places to hide in a
Mausoleums, man. Mausoleums everywhere.
Yeah, but it's not much choice. And you can only hide there. You need
But
to have a bit more variety.
Well, I mean, you could have them in the mausoleum. You could have. It doesn't have. It could be like a. It's hard to explain, but
It'd be cool if there was like they were having like a house party or something, and like the map was just a house that was like 2 stories and had a basement or something and an attic.
Yeah,
and
that'd be
then,
cool.
Because that would add like a little more depth. Because these maps, it looks like they're all one level.
Yeah, instead of being like an open, like wide environment, it'd be more of a vertical environment.
Yeah, they would add a whole new dynamic to the game, but I don't know if they're able to do that.
Yeah.
But
the reason I'm saying
if they could, that'd be cool as DLC.
Yeah, the reason I'm saying graveyard, you know, I was thinking more for like the killer than anything else, because like just imagine the feeling of just wandering to the graveyard and all of a sudden the killer like spawns out of a grave. Like just imagine that sight the first time you see that. Just like him popping out of the grave.
Yeah.
Just be like, nope, I'm done. Quit. Turn the
cool.
game off. Just done.
Another one that would be kind of weird but also kind of interesting is if they had a map that was like a mall, because impressionable teenagers at a mall, like they could have some situation where they got closed in overnight, like nobody realized it or whatever, and the slasher kills off the security guards so they can't help them or anything. And yeah, that'd be really cool, because malls are creepy at night, dude.
Yeah, no, they really are. Yeah, those are two Halloween games I'm looking forward to.
I would say another map for like an office, but I can't really see teenagers being in an office.
Yeah, it needs like that's the whole thing. It has to be a setting where there would be teenagers.
Yeah.
Like the house party
like
sounds really good.
Hospital wouldn't really work either unless they all like got drunk and got in a car accident or some shit and they were injured. But then you'd have to change the gameplay a little bit because they have injuries.
Yeah.
So,
It just it's just easier to have situations like camp, the obviously camp, high school are the two easiest ones to do because they're the 2 most stereotypical.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously is going for the stereotypical 80s slasher flick, which I am totally on board with.
I think there actually is a slasher flick that takes place in a mall, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. I remember like hearing something similar where there were people in a mall, or maybe it was a zombie movie. I don't know.
It does look like they are going to do some type of apartment complex type thing with this
like a dorm.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
because of how this like layout is.
Yeah, the art
Yeah,
style there.
like this like, art looks like they might be. Like,
Yeah,
might be
I could see it happening in a dorm.
Mm-hmm. Like that. That actually sounds like a really good idea. Yeah. Also, I think didn't one of the many Scream movies I think tackled like a dorm setting. One of the many ones they
Yeah,
had.
I didn't see all of them.
I haven't seen any, but I think one of them has
I
something to do with
remember
a
seeing the
college.
first one when I was really, really young, so I don't remember much of it, but
Although, can we really call Scream horror? I mean, at this point, it's pretty much known
it's
that
kind of campy.
it's satirical horror at best.
Yeah, it's pretty campy.
Especially the fourth one. The fourth one makes fun of all of the other ones. Like the fourth one openly acknowledges the other one's existence as films, like, and gets really meta.
So it's gonna be released on Steam. Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool, man.
And another game that was on Steam that came out with a Halloween kind of package, I suppose, is Shovel Knight. And the DLC is free, which I like. And
Thank
The-
Kickstarter.
yeah,
Made enough money to make everything free.
the Halloween-esque part of it is that you get to play as Plague Knight. And I really like how they completely changed the story so that he can have a motivation behind going to all the different levels, and they changed a lot of the gameplay aspects because Plague Knight can't do certain things that Shovel Knight can do, like the downward thrust, so they gave him like this triple jump thing, which I think is really cool. And there's a section of the game where there's a town, and a lot of other games would just overlook it and let him go into the town because, like, they just don't care and are lazy. They just would have it as a loophole. But Shovel Knight, the developer Yacht
Yacht Club.
Yacht Club Games, they have, like, it's really interesting how they did it. He's not allowed in the town because Plague Knight's kind of like a villain, I suppose. And they're like, oh no, you can't come in here. And you have like a line of guards. So he has to sneak his way into the town through like a secret tunnel thing. So that was really cool. I like how they change a lot of small details in the game to make it more realistic. And the dialogue in the game is always very humorous, and there's a bit of heart to it too. You really, you feel for Plague Knight, and you want him to succeed because he has a pretty, kind of noble reason for what he's doing, ish. If you think love is a noble reason. By the way, Mona's adorable. But yeah, I've seen some gameplay of it because, like, my computer can't handle games at all. But I really like what I've seen of it. What about you?
I've been me personally, I've been holding out. I haven't actually experienced anything for Plague of Shadows because I haven't beaten Shovel Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to admit that, but I haven't beaten Shovel Knight myself. So I've been holding off on seeing any of the DLC until I can beat the game myself and actually play it.
I can understand that.
I have it on my 3DS. I'm probably going to pick it up on my Xbox One because I think at this point the Xbox One version is the best version because, let's be totally honest, you get to fight Battletoads, and that's probably the best thing ever.
Yeah, I definitely want to pick up the 3DS version as well. I might get the Steam version, but I'm not sure. I also like how Shovel Knight has sub-weapons, but they're basically useless to Plague Knight because he doesn't know how to use them. So he trades them to the guy who gives Shovel Knight the sub-weapons. Like, they're basically seen as, like, artifacts. So he trades them to that guy, and the guy gives him, like, different potions that are basically your power-ups. So in a way, the Plague of Shadows story is a bit of a prequel to Shovel Knight. Like, it happens basically a little bit before the Shovel Knight story happens. So without Plague Knight, Shovel Knight wouldn't have ever gotten those sub weapons. Cool, huh?
Hmm.
Mind blowing.
I'm actually looking back at Shovel Knight's original Kickstarter, and there, I forgot all about the fact that this game technically isn't finished yet.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, this game isn't technically finished. Like, the game itself, the core game is done, but that's why all the content's being added for free, because first of all, it all got that got paid
Yeah, I
for
see
by.
playable boss knight, which they're doing.
There's 3 of them. Not just there will be 3 of them at least.
Yeah.
I would assume there's more
we got
than.
Plague Knight. Next is King Knight,
And
which is gonna be awesome.
And nobody knows what the third one is. They haven't revealed the third one.
I kind of hope it's Treasure Knight.
I'm hoping it's Shield Knight. Imagine like a prequel to imagine playing like a prequel to everything, and like because they could like completely retool the game in a way. They could have the entire game be redone and have like Shield Knight with like Shovel Knight as like an assist type thing, and they could do some really fun stuff with that. I think, but some interesting stuff in here is like there's a challenge mode. I think they have the challenges, but I'm not sure. 4-player battle mode is coming. I would assume all the bosses will be in
Gender swap mode.
Yes.
That might be the Shield Knight one though. Probably.
Going down for the description of gender swap mode. We want Shovel Knight to be enjoyable by boys and girls of all ages everywhere. With this mode, the main character's genders will be swapped, giving us a chance to do it before the internet has a chance to. The story will change a bit to reflect the changes. Can you defeat the evil enchanter? So Shield Butt will be a dude.
Oh my god, King Knight as Queen Knight though.
Queen Knight! It's gonna be the best!
Yeah, we
Too
earlier,
fabulous!
Earlier
I'm
we
too
were
fabulous
discussing
for
like
you.
what kind of moves King Knight will have once he becomes playable, and we were talking about like the equivalent of sub weapons would be like different poses and stuff, and I thought of one where like he will shine so bright that it will temporarily paralyze the enemy because they'll be blinded by how sparkly he is. So, yeah. I really like where they went with this. This game's awesome. But yeah, for the Plague of Shadows, the level, like, layout is a little bit different. There isn't much difference with that, though. Like, they're all the same levels and stuff. There's just a few slight differences because... Oh, God. Because Plague Knight, excuse me, does play a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I really like
it. I like it a lot. I really like it.
Yeah. I mean, who else could you play as? Probably not. I don't know. We'll see who the third boss knight is.
They hinted at Propeller Knight in the original description for it.
Oh, really?
They did hint at Propeller Knight.
That'd be cool.
Like,
really, I'd be happy with any of the knights because they're all really, really cool. Their designs are cool. Their attacks are cool. They all have distinct personalities. So, really, anyone's good. I know why they did Plague Knight first, though, because he was, like, one of the most popular
yeah.
with the fans.
But let's be totally honest. King Knight campaign is going to be the best campaign ever made.
Oh, it's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be so fabulous that nothing could top it. Like, it might be better off for them to delay King Knight into the last release so that they go out on the highest of high, because there ain't no way you're topping King Knight.
Oh, I just thought of something. That one point in the game where you fight the Hatter.
Mm-hmm.
With Shovel Knight, he says he doesn't wear hats, he only wears helmets. With Plague Knight, he says he doesn't wear hats, he only wears hoods. So with King Knight, he's gonna say, I don't wear hats, I only wear crowns, bitch.
Yeah. No.
That'd be amazing.
King Knight's boss fights should end with King Knight getting beaten. Like,
oh my God.
his boss fights are how quickly he can die.
Yeah. He was pretty,
Because he's a punk! He
was very
arrogant.
frail.
He's a pompous, arrogant little punk that can't take a hit.
Oh yeah, what was that one sub-weapon that you suggested?
Oh, that you can summon his like trumpets that shoot his confetti of doom.
Yes.
I've never known
Amazing.
confetti to do damage until Shovel Knight.
Yes.
Clearly, paper cuts are a knight's true worst enemy.
Oh yeah. Since I started working at my job, those receipts, I've been getting a new paper cut every time I go on shift. It's ridiculous. But anyway, getting off topic again. So, yeah, the Plague of Shadows thing is really cool, and free DLC is always welcome.
There should, if they're gonna add any like new knights they haven't added before, like actual different knights, I would recommend Bone Knight, a skeleton, because what game is
I
complete
don't
without
know.
a skeleton?
He's a little big though compared to the others, so the gameplay would be vastly different, I think.
It'd be
But
fun.
I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Remember, when you're making a video game and you have spooky stuff in it, if there's no skeleton, you've failed. You, like that should be a rule. If you have anything spooky,
But Alien Isolation doesn't have skellies.
technically, they're giant scaly bins with penises attached to them.
Yeah, I mean,
You can see their
their
bones.
bodies are kind of
Their bones are basically black skeletons. Let's be totally honest.
black dinosaur skeletons.
Black penis dinosaur skeletons. Yes,
Oh god.
that explains why the head's so big.
Well, yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so we've talked about current games that are out. I think. Are there any other Halloween-esque games out right now?
I honestly I don't know because I don't follow spooky games too much. Spooky games,
Spooky games.
spook games are not my like forte.
Well, let's see if I can find something about it, like horror games out right now, because I know, Silent Hill got canceled.
Oh, you mean like what could have been a great thing because Guillermo del Toro and Hideo freaking Kojima teaming up probably would have made the best partnership ever, but Konami is Konami and Konami is the worst.
Oh yeah, Until Dawn.
Oh, Until Dawn. Yes, okay, Until Dawn. Yeah, where do we start with Until
I've heard
Dawn?
mixed reviews about it, to be honest. Very mixed reviews.
I don't know how to feel about it. On one hand, yeah, it definitely captures a lot of the spirit of the old school horror flick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It even has the tropes like the stupid college chick and the dumb jock that try to screw and then die. It even has that, to an extent. I don't think they die, but they do get like attacked because they were trying to screw.
Isn't there a bit of mystery to it as well?
There is a giant mystery. In fact, a lot of the game, and I'm not. This isn't spoiler. It's just the game makes you question what is and isn't real, which is really cool. But my problem with it is, oh, we have really good graphics. Look at our facial graphics, to the point where our faces will twitch unrealistically and ruin the whole good facial graphics thing.
They twitch.
Clover.
Gross.
Like I don't like. I think the game's. I haven't watched the full playthrough of it, but it looks like they're setting up to the whole idea that the big bad isn't the big bad, which is cool, but it's been done so much. Why is the big bad not going to be the big bad? Who is the big bad? Am I the big bad? Are you the big bad? Are we the big bad? Is the big bad a big bad that's a big bad bad? I don't know. And granted, that part of that's cool, but another part is like, you're a horror flick. You don't gotta be mysterious and deep. You just gotta be dumb chick dies, dumb dude dies, nerdy kid dies, this person dies. It's all you gotta do. It's all you gotta do. I don't want your game for like intricate story and deep characters. I want it to watch people get brutally murdered, and then the people that don't feel like crap for it. That's what I'm there for.
Oh yeah, I don't know if this really counts as a scary game or something, but the past games in this series have been kind of scary. Mother 4 came out recently.
Oh, Mother 4?
Yeah. Basically, the creator of the Mother series, I forget his name. It's Itoy, is his surname, I believe. He said he wanted fans to make the fourth Mother game because, let's be honest, it's been a long time since Mother 3. So the fans decided, okay, we'll make Mother 4. And they did it, and it looks really cool. It's only for PC, though. Nothing else. But,
Interesting.
yeah, the soundtrack is really on point. It sounds very much like the Mother series. The art style is kind of SNES inspired, so it looks very similar to the other Mother games as well. I'm not too sure about the story, but I have seen some of the characters, so I don't know how scary exactly it's going to be, but considering how scary the other Mother games were, I'm going to guess that it is very creepy.
Well, it does look to be visually on par with the Mother series.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It looks
saying.
like it came right out of it.
This is a very well-made fan game that really keeps true to the style of the other ones.
Groovy.
Yeah, it also kept the battle style of Mother 3 where it has the music notes, and if you hit it on time with the music, you get extra hits in.
Oh, good. We got this guy here.
Yeah. So the characters are pretty much like other characters in the Mother series. You got the main character with the striped shirt, you got the girl, you got the nerd kid, and then you got the strong support. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, good for them.
Looks very promising. Yeah.
Yes, good for them. Good for them.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's probably a free download because
It is totally free.
They can't make money off of it.
Nintendo would have been like, "You're done."
Yeah. The only reason why they're not being shut down is because eToy is like, I don't care. You can have it. You're not making money off of it, and I don't think he would even care if they were, to be honest, because he's pretty cool about it.
He's openly said he wants another Mother game.
Yeah, exactly. He
But-
said I would be fine with fans making Mother 4. I don't care.
Because the whole thing is Nintendo doesn't want to do Mother anymore. Nintendo doesn't care.
It's because it didn't sell very well, I believe. And
The best
whole
games
reason
never
is
do.
that it was never released outside of Japan for
Ja-
the most part, except for the
Yeah.
second one.
Well, that technically isn't. That's not true anymore. The first game did get a U.S. release recently,
Yeah, on the Wii U
but
for digital download.
it still got a release, man.
Yeah.
You gotta give them some type of credit. They got it right. Finally.
Actually, how much is it?
Like I think it's like $15.
Uh,
Might be like between 5 and 15. I don't know how much it is. But
alright,
still,
cool.
good for Nintendo for finally realizing it. Unfortunately, 3 still never.
Once I get a Wii U, if ever, I'm definitely going to download that as well as Earthbound off of the Virtual Console.
Mhm.
Because I would like to play both. I have been playing a little bit of Earthbound here at Do Knight's house, but
Earthbound in general is very spooky
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's existential, and existential stuff is probably the spookiest
even
there is.
even like the title screen when you first turn on the game, it plays that scary music and it shows you what happens if you fail in your mission. The entire world gets destroyed by Gygas.
Congratulations.
Thanks
You
for the
lose.
pressure.
It's like, congratulations, you lose. Everybody's dead. Thanks. It's all your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you could have avoided this. You could have stopped this from happening, but you didn't. It's all
And-
your fault.
And the only way to beat the boss, you don't beat him through your physical strength. The only way to beat him is pray. Like, that is some existential commentary there.
Yeah.
I love these games because of stuff like that.
You were not strong enough. Even on your best, you were not strong enough.
Yeah, all you can
You
do is
needed-
pray and hope and dream.
And it took the prayer and hopes and dreams of every living
and while
thing.
you click the pray button in the game, you can bet your ass that gamers everywhere were praying along with them because you're like, I don't know what else to do. I used all my items. I used all of my PSI. I have nothing left.
Don't you lose. Don't you quit on me. Don't you quit on me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, I think I think it's really good, and I also love how at the end there it kind of breaks the fourth wall and it starts talking about you specifically praying and everything, and it's really nice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, the games are amazing. So, I'm not sure if Mother 4 is, like, spooky or anything, but probably if they really keep with the style of the other games, then yeah, I guess it could count as a Halloween-esque game.
To be totally honest, there just isn't really anything Halloweeny anymore. Very few things that are Halloweeny anymore.
No more Castlevania.
We got Bloodstained.
Yeah. Which hopefully will be released next year. Maybe the year after.
Yeah. I'm hoping, because, Castlevania's fun, and if it's a lot like Symphony of the Night, I'll dig it.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, there aren't really
What does a
many
man-
games about, like, ghosts or zombies really anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not since, like,
Well,
SNES
there's
days.
plenty of stuff about zombies, but
Well, yeah.
nobody cares about zombos anymore, because zombos are overplayed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, other than, zombie shooter kind of games.
I think you could do a really fun thing with zombies that isn't Left 4 Dead or anything if you, well, it is sort of Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead, they need to do another Left 4 Dead. Like, totally honest, they need to do another one. They could have some fun with that. Apparently, Valve is working on Left 4 Dead 3. I think it would be a perfect time to announce it or something, because if you're working on it, why not? I mean,
It'll be announced about the same time Half-Life 3 is announced.
Oh, did you hear about, they actually, like, released some files, like, some, like, partial files, they leaked them in Dota 2, in a Dota 2 update.
Yeah.
One of them having, like, Half-Life 3.txt, or
Bullshit.
HL3.txt. That really was something that they had, and it had a lot of, different, like, open world-related scripts and stuff. And the thing is, normally when Valve, like, leaks accidental stuff for Half-Life, for, like, their projects and stuff, because they've done it before, they normally remove it quickly, because they're trying not to get people's hopes up.
Yeah.
But this has been, like, all over the news, and as far as I know, it's still there in the data, so this was an intentional leak by Valve, as far as I'm concerned. There's no way they could have ignored it for this long.
April Fools! No, I'm kidding.
I don't think it means Half-Life 3 is coming out. I think it's just their way of subliminally saying, hey, it's not canned, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's just their way of just trying.
It'll come out in another 20 years.
Personally, I'm calling in the next 5. I honestly think it'll be out in the next 5 years.
Or at least announced. Probably.
It'll be out in the next 5 years.
Mm.
VR is starting to take off. Valve is starting to become this big industry giant.
Yeah.
They're going to need something to say, hey, we're still a game company at heart. And it's going to be Half-Life 3. Because Left 4 Dead's cool. Portal is cool. Counter-Strike is... I'm not a Counter-Strike guy. And they've already said there's never going to be a Team Fortress 3. At least not anytime soon.
Man.
So... It's probably going to be Half-Life 3. And it'll probably have some type of VR integration. Because they're going to want to like have some type of crazy new stuff to it.
Oculus support.
Valve has their own VR headset. Why would they support Oculus?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're working with HTC.
Ooh. Will it be cheaper than Oculus? Probably
it's
not.
HTC.
All right.
It's HTC, so you tell me.
Let's move on to Halloween/scary games that we want to see in the future.
Well, I was talking to you about this before this. I think...
How about another Ghosts and Goblins?
Yeah, that could be cool.
Yeah. That would be cool. And then I mentioned to you earlier about how I wanted to see an arcade-style fighter with a bunch of slasher villains and movie monsters in there, like Alien and Predator and Freddy and Jason and like Ghostface from Scream and what other monsters?
The creature from the Black Lagoon.
Wolfman. Wolfman would be cool in a fighter.
Yeah.
Oh my god. More free advertising, but I watched Cinemassacre's review of The Wasp Woman.
We're just like promoting everybody today.
I wouldn't mind seeing The Wasp Woman in a game. That would be kind of funny, actually.
I mean, Killer Instinct's kind of doing something like that, along with like Mortal Kombat X. Like Killer Instinct's like own characters. Like they have this type of mummy type guy, Khan Ra, who uses like his bandages and like this ethereal dust.
Yeah.
And they have
oh yeah, they could put something like general monsters
And they
in
have-
there as well.
And they have Saberwolf, who is a wolf man. Like he's a scientist who like started genetically gene splicing and turned himself into a wolf man. So now he has like rabid predatorial instincts, but he also has the intelligence of a
That's
scientist.
basically what happened to Wasp Woman. Like a lot of monster origins have to do with like gene splicing or
Yeah.
something stupid like that, or radiation, or like
Mhm.
you know.
And Mortal Kombat X is like trying to be that big fighter for that, because I mean they got Jason Voorhees, they've got the Predator, Ed Boon, that trolling son of a gun is.
Well, I just want a fighter with just the slashers and
Yeah.
movie monsters, because that would be like the perfect game to play around Halloween with friends.
Yeah.
Just laughing and be like, ah.
Just turn off all the sound for the game. Just have two people playing, and in the background, Monster Mash. Just play Monster Mash in the background to that. That'd be the greatest thing ever. It'd be a graveyard smash.
Oh God. You gotta have like some Addams Family characters in there as well,
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do.
or oh crap, what was that? I'm trying to remember. There was this other show that involved like monsters and stuff. I don't remember. I lost it. Brain fart.
It
But,
happens. It
yeah.
happens.
It would be really cool to see something like that. Could have Godzilla in there if they wanted to.
Gojira!
Because, let's be honest, his last game wasn't that great.
I'm gonna walk like a big old tank. I'm gonna hit some stuff.
That wasn't like...
I was
that's
okay with
not
him
what
walking
made me
like a
mad.
tank.
Yeah, that's not what
because
made me mad.
that
Because
was-
he's large. Of
Yeah,
course
that
he
was
would walk
that
like
was true to the movies. But then
But-
everything was hit the generator, hit the generator. Oh, did you
Not-
hit the generator yet?
That's not what pissed me off. What pissed me off was when you're in like the arcade portion
Mhm.
kind of thing, and you're fighting the other monsters. You move so slow, and they knock you down, and you can't get back up and get a hit in. They just repeatedly keep hitting you and knock you
Not to
down.
mention when you play multiplayer, you're typically paired up with people across like all the way in Japan who've had the game since it came out in Japan, which
Oh,
is like
yeah.
a year before it hit the US shelves. So like level 150 and you're like level 10 and then you get ruined.
See, that's dumb. That's why I like Splatoon, because when you do the ranked battles, they only pair you up with people around your ranking. So
Yeah.
you can't get paired up against like an expert when you're just starting out. That is stupid when
You
games
can't fight
do
you
that.
can't fight Alpha Squid if you're just baby squib.
Yeah, what other Halloween games do we want to see?
I was talking to you about this earlier. I think like they like to milk the Halo franchise so much they could really do a interesting game with the Flood. Like, I think they could really do a lot with the Flood, because the Flood is essentially, God, they're space zombies. Think about it
Yeah.
like that. They're basically space zombies, and it's zombies in space. I don't think I need to explain this
Which
anymore.
reminds me, another Dead Space game would be cool.
Yes, just not like Dead Space 3.
It seems like third games and trilogies get a really bad rap.
This game would have been fine, but EA said, "Nah, we gotta like dabble our fingers all over. Just gotta smear our fingers all over its face. Just get all of our dirty fingers all over it."
But, yeah, I can't really think of any other games that I would want to see out that are Halloween-esque, other than, you know, Bloodstain, which we already know is coming out, and,
I would love to see a game set back in ancient Egyptian times,
yeah.
with like pharaohs and all this like magic and stuff.
Not like a video game of the Mummy, but just
no,
like
no, because that
Survival-
exists.
survival
dumb.
horror Egypt.
Yeah, like you could do that, or you could have like mummies brought back to life that have like
You know, a lot of survival horror are either like sci-fi or they take place in like kind of Victorian times. So it is an interesting idea to want an ancient Egypt style like survival horror, and you could do like other environments too, like a survival horror in Japan with like ghosts and demons and stuff as well from like mythology, or survival horror in like the jungles of South America with some unknown monster that you don't know, or dude, survival horror in like Antarctica would be cool.
That's what I was thinking about, like the Arctic.
Yeah,
Cause
I know there was a horror movie that kind of did something like that where it took place in the Arctic, but the thing is, there was no reason to see the movie because they spoiled what the monster looked like in the commercials, which was dumb. But yeah, like an Arctic survival horror game would be really cool.
Here would be a really cool thing. Like you could have like this survival horror game where you're like trying to escape from this like killer or whatever, and it could be in any scenario, it could be any type of environment. And then like the game, when it gets like toward the end or whatever, big twist, shocker, you're the killer, and like you're actually just watching everything through the eyes of your victims. Through the perspective of your victims. Because you have to put yourself into their, you have to like take your mind out of it in order to do it. You have to feel like you're not, like you're one being chased. Like it's like you escaping the killer is actually in your head, and the people that the killer kill along the way of the game is actually you. And
yeah.
And like you're not actually there.
Like in an attempt to get away from the killer, you kill other people, so you don't realize that you're actually doing it.
I was gonna say like more of like a multiple personality type thing. Like your two personalities, two people existing in the same head. One is evil and has full control of your body, and the other one is you. And only you visually don't see things that way. You don't realize this. You think that you're right next to, say, a guy walking next to you, and the killer like stabs the guy through the back, and your whole job is like to get away from him. Then at the very end of the game, you get there, you get away, and then he stares you down, and it just flashes through everything that you've done, and it shows you are that person. There's no one there in front of you. There's no one. You are that killer, and just
deep, man.
Just
you could be like looking into a mirror, like you thought it was a doorway, but it was actually a mirror, and you're the killer.
Yep.
Fuck, man. Make the game. Do it. You can do it. That'd be cool. Oh, shit. I just remembered a scary game that we never mentioned. Off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Off is amazing.
It's a little off.
We should have mentioned that like a long time ago when we were talking about past games that were awesome. But yeah, Off is really, like, it's not scary. It's just very unsettling because, like, the whole time you have this feeling that you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
'Cause,
until, like, the closing moments where it just explains everything, you're just like, fuck my life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the music is very scary, and the art is very scary. When you cleanse a world, it's just completely empty and barren, and you're like, did I really cleanse it, or did I just murder everybody?
Did I cleanse it? Did I cleanse it? Did I OxyClean cleanse it, or did I Nazis and the Jews cleanse it?
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's oh, God, it's a really cool game, so, I'm not gonna spoil anything, because people should definitely play it. I think it's free to download, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a really cool game, and I like it a lot, but it's definitely unsettling, though it does have funny moments in it, like that part at the amusement park where you take the picture.
Everything needs needs some type of comedy.
Oh yeah, you have to have comedic relief, because if you don't, then, like, it's not fun, because you'd be on edge the entire time.
Think about Star Wars without C-3PO and R2-D2. Just think about that for a second. Think about that. Imagine how bleak and desolate everything would be without C-3PO and R2-D2 bitching at each other every once in a while.
And then imagine the prequels without Jar Jar.
Oh, you mean an actually good movie?
I didn't think he was that bad. Like, everyone said that he completely ruined the movies, but I didn't think he was that bad.
Well, I don't think he completely ruined Phantom Menace. I think Phantom Menace ruined Phantom Menace. I think Jar Jar was. I don't think Jar Jar's is nearly
the
as.
writing was hokey, but the acting was pretty decent.
Yes, the acting was really good. I do, however, think that I. Well, no, I feel horrible. Because Jar Jar. You know, I'm gonna say this right now. Jar Jar Binks was saved by Star Wars: The Clone Wars. They made Jar Jar Binks a not shit character in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. They made him awesome.
Yeah.
Like I hate myself for saying that. They made Jar Jar
he's
Binks
kind of
a badass.
Yeah. He is.
He
really
became
is.
this badass ambassador that has on multiple occasions saved everybody's lives. Like, okay, you know what? I can forgive him. I can forgive episode 1 for that. Like, they brought him in. They brought him in.
Maybe he was just really immature back then.
Well, that's the whole character arc. He becomes something more.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm glad about that because
Yay, character development.
from the shittiest character to a competent character.
That's always welcome. But anyway, I think we kind of rambled on. I don't know.
Yeah,
We got off topic a couple times.
I think we've absolutely like ran out of Halloween things, and we're just like talking about stuff that sounds
just random
fun.
stuff. Yeah, I mean, I knew this video was gonna be pretty much stream of consciousness anyway. But yeah, it's good discussing video games and movies and anything else, especially around this time of year when you can really delve into the horror genre.
Yes, the horror genre and anything that gives you the spoops and
What
chills.
I hate is when they release horror movies around Christmas. Like, come on. Except for that Krampus one. That one makes sense. But normally when they release one around Christmas, I'm just like, really?
No, what's going to be a true horror flick around Christmas is if Star Wars Episode 7 is like really bad. If that episode,
I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
if that, like, I think it's going to be amazing. I'm saying there's always a chance that a movie can bomb.
Yeah.
And if Episode 7 bombs, like, you think people's reactions to Crystal Skull was bad?
They're going to be sad.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna actually cry.
They're going to be sad.
And I don't cry often, but I'll break down into tears if Episode 7 is bad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
will.
I'm going to see it in theaters, definitely.
I'm going to see it in theaters. December 16th is when it starts in the U.S. and I'll have seen it before 2016. That's a promise. Like
Nice.
I want to see it that bad. Like it's gonna be really good.
I might see it a little bit after Christmas, just so Christmas money can pay for tickets.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably. That'll be my New Year's Eve. I'll watch Star Wars Episode 7. I'll be like, okay, now I'm ready for the new year. I can say 2015 was a good year because Episode 7 didn't suck.
Maybe.
No, I'm refusing to accept it. If it sucks, I will cry. But if not, I'm happy. I'm happy until then. J.J. Abrams, don't you fucking let me down.
Yeah, but anyway, thanks for listening to us ramble on about
Everything
Halloween
and anything.
and frustrations with video games and just a bunch of other stuff for about 2 hours. I may split this up into parts, to be honest. But anyway, thanks for watching / listening. This has been Steel Fairy.
Dude, I.
And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.